Well, now that the Monster Arts review is over, where do we go from here? Well, I want more. Let's talk about what I want.
Dragon Ball, horror, kaiju, and more. Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hey, Collector Steven here, and, well, yesterday we had the review of the SH Monster Arts Godzilla -1, 2023, minus Goji, whatever you would prefer to call him. Now that we have the past behind us, and it will haunt us for the rest of days, we now can look forward into the future, because we do have the upcoming Super 7, minus Goji, that will be released at least tentatively right now, September of next year. That is the solicitation that's up on BBTS and Entertainment Earth. If you are interested, of course, affiliate links will be down below. Super 7 actually directly free shipping if you do order directly by the end of December of 2023. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge if you want to do that. And then, of course, there's been people who've been saying that Haya has been knocking it out of the park, so I'll wait for the Haya. Well, they haven't confirmed whether or not they're going to be doing anything. Haya's been relatively silent on that front, but they've been doing Monsterverse stuff and recently teased production for Godzilla 91. Hopefully that comes to fruition. But let's just go ahead and say across the board, we want more minus Goji stuff, because I know that I do. I'm thinking about maybe doing a review of the movie next couple of days. We'll see. But for what I would like moving forward for different product, it's going to be Monster Arts. I still would like to pick that up, just because that's going to be my preferred scale. Super 7, everyone, here are the products that I would like to see out of Godzilla -1. And because everyone's got different ideas. And of course, if you would like to chime in, comment down below. So, spoilers from here on out. I'm going to go balls to the wall on this one, okay? Nothing but spoilers. First and foremost, we have to get Godzilla from Odo Island before he mutated. That would be really cool. I don't know if he has an official name yet. There's like a Warudo or something that translates from Japanese to English. I don't know what exactly that is, but you know what I'm talking about. I love that design. I really think it would be cool. Accessory loadout, just maybe the plane. Like the kamikaze plane, I think that would be really cool to have, just because, you know, Godzilla's kind of staring at it. He's sniffing it a little bit. Maybe we could have some little soldiers, just miscellaneous, mechanics. That would be pretty cool to have. Nothing really else, just because, I mean, what is the scale going to be like? He's going to be like, what, this big compared to the Monster Arts? But nevertheless, I think, maybe scale-wise we can agree maybe up to like his knee, or maybe, waist. I think that would be fine, relatively speaking, because you can't have something in actual scale there. All right, so we have that. What comes next? Obviously, we've got to have a heat ray Godzilla of some kind, right? Because he does have a very unique feature for his heat ray, where he is going to have the dorsal plates shoot up, and then as he's firing, they're going to clam down, and he's going to fire off the beam. Now, how are we going to have that in the actual figure? It would be very difficult to really execute that, because, I mean, yes, we do have the Monster Arts, which has the wiggly, swivelly back and forth dorsal plates at the top to help with the neck. But, I mean, if we're going to do that, how are you going to get that from the tail tip all the way up to the top? I mean, it would be a neat gimmick to have like these dorsal plates move up and then down. But then at that point, if you can't get them all, I don't know, maybe just a few, and maybe that will run up the production costs, so on and so forth. Do we go with just paint or translucent plastic? I mean, you be the judge, but obviously that would be cool. Now, Godzilla does also have unique features along with his heat ray, his atomic blast, and I mean, it's effectively a nuclear warhead, right? When it lands, it explodes. So not only would we need the beam to go along with that, but we would need some sort of explosion, some sort of impact effect, sort of like what NECA did with their 2019 Godzilla, and it had like a little splash effect. That would be really cool to see if we do get some sort of atomic blast minus Goji. And then also fists to go along with that, so he's like pulling back and he's firing. You know exactly what I'm talking about there. Now, is that it? Not quite. Accessories, just general accessories. I think we could build a nice minus Godzilla accessory set, because we do have the bomber, the fighter, whatever it was at the end of the movie. That is rather iconic. That could be included in a general accessory set. We could also get our hands on a mine-proof boat. that is used in the movie. I think that would be pretty sweet to have. Just something small. We get a little like water base around it. Even if it's just a neat little knickknack that could be included. Those would be great. A couple of mines because they're big enough to fit in Godzilla's mouth. That would be really cool. And then on top of that, as we know, Godzilla does get that scar from a mine exploding in his mouth. So if we could have a non-scarred head sculpt, Monster Arts, Tamashii Nations, wink wink nudge nudge, if we could get a head sculpt without that paint app, particularly on that end, that would be neat as well. And then, if you've seen the movie, hopefully you have because it's amazing, if we were able to get like a blasted chunk head where he's mutating and regenerating, that would be really neat as well. And then of course, because right before he does fire off his atomic blast when he's on mainland and not in the water, which is going to be my next point, tanks fight him. So it would be cool if we just had like a few tanks. But train, we got to have a train. We got to have that choo-choo train, man. This comes from the 1-Up Godzilla 1954 vinyl figure. I'm gonna have a review of that up soon. So anyway, so that's pretty much it. So again, we're talking about like trains, planes, maybe a couple of automobiles if that's what you consider a tank, mines, you know, the whole 9 yards. Could we get not tanks? Couldn't we get naval vessels? There are some 350 scale Japanese naval vessels that are on the market already. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, Aoshima. They do make them. So hopefully I'll be able to find some links for you. Now, this guy, battle damage. Oh my lord. So first and foremost, when we do have the first water scene in the movie, he gets blown to hell and back. And then there's a little bit of damage that he gets when he does fire off of his beam. So first and foremost, we just have the general battle damage Godzilla. So we can get that, and then we can mix and match atomic ray accessories. So we can do 2 different sort of variants for atomic ray. So if you consider that Godzilla does get a little bit of battle damage and scarred whenever he does fire off the beam, for one release we could have the more so traditional atomic blast Godzilla, and then the other one, what we can do is we can add in the like the scarring and so forth that he may get from that, and you can interchange the sculpts and the parts from there. I think that would be really cool because again, he gets annihilated by that boat. I forget the name offhand, doing this kind of off the cuff, but I think that would be really cool. It doesn't have to be SH Monster Arts, it can be Super 7 or Haya if they join in the game. And then finally, what I think would be really, really awesome, and this is kind of where the last plane in the movie comes into play, pressure damage Godzilla. That is something that we got to have because he's just all bubbly and he got his eyes popping out. And then of course, half of a head. We got the blown up head. That would be a really freaking cool accessory. And then we could just have like a miscellaneous like little Godzilla chunk to go along with that for the end of the movie. I think that would be really sweet. Now, with that, I think there's one more accessory we can kind of get in there, but I think maybe it's something only Tamashii Nations may be able to do just because of the movie Monster Series Blue is going to be like an all blue translucent plastic minus Goji. I think that would be pretty neat, just sort of as a reference as well. So those are kind of my thoughts. In short, we do have the Odo Island pre-mutated Godzilla. We do have a standard atomic blast heat ray Godzilla. We do have a battle damaged Godzilla, which will have hopefully some heat ray parts included with it, which we can interchange with the standard heat ray Godzilla. Then we could do like a pressurized damaged Godzilla, which would be pretty cool. And then for just a general pool of accessories, of course, we are going to have train meat for him to chew on because that's pretty iconic from the movie. We do have a different assortment of airplanes, the beginning kamikaze plane and then the dogfighter plane. I guess at the end of the movie, we do have the anti-mine boat, as if that would be one, with some aquatic mines that we could use just to attack Godzilla, even if it's like a little knick-knack display piece. We do have some alternate heads that could be used for Godzilla, which include like a non-scarred head, a half-damaged head that's regenerating or mutating, whatever. We can have the blown-up head sculpt, which would be pretty neat. So there's a whole bunch of different accessories, and they don't even necessarily have to be for one release. Again, we can interchange and mix and match where it's appropriate. So I know Super 7 just got into the game for minus Goji. Maybe we will have more releases coming down the pipe, especially with Odo Island Goji being something that is there. Maybe not. Who knows? But I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Still debating whether or not I want to do a proper -1 review, but we will see. Thank you so much for watching. Wanted to bring in some positivity after yesterday's review because minus quality, am I right? Thank you again. Here's the end card. I will catch you in the next video, and happy holiday season.